What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most talked about stocks and cryptos making waves right now. We'll break down the fundamentals, look at the charts, and see if these assets are smart buys or just hype. From electric vehicles to biotech and some wild crypto projects, I'll give you my honest, no-nonsense take. If you want to become a smarter investor, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. Let's jump into our first pick. First up is Volcon Inc., VLCN, a niche player in the off-road electric vehicle market. While most people think of electric vehicles as city cars or sleek sedans, Volcon is taking a different route, literally. They're targeting the rugged, adrenaline-fueled world of off-road adventure, where gas engines have long been king. This is a bold move, and it's one that could shake up an industry that's been slow to embrace electrification. Volcon is making electric dirt bikes and UTVs, aiming to disrupt a gas-powered industry that's ripe for innovation. Their vision is to bring the benefits of electrification, like instant torque, zero emissions, and lower operating costs, to outdoor enthusiasts who crave performance and sustainability. Imagine tearing through the woods or climbing rocky trails, all without the roar of an engine or the smell of exhaust. That's the experience Volcon wants to deliver. Their flagship products, like the Grunt and Stag, are designed for both fun and function. These vehicles offer instant torque, low maintenance, and a much quieter ride, perfect for eco-conscious thrill-seekers who want to enjoy nature without disturbing it. The Grunt, for example, is a rugged, electric motorcycle built for trails, farms, and backcountry adventures, while the Stag is a powerful UTV that can handle tough terrain with ease. Both are built with simplicity and durability in mind, making them accessible to newcomers and seasoned riders alike. The market potential for off-road EVs is huge, especially as more people look for sustainable ways to enjoy the outdoors. But here's the catch: Volcon is still in its early stages. Like many startups, they're burning through cash as they ramp up production and try to carve out a space in a competitive market. They haven't reached profitability yet, and their financials reflect the growing pains of a young company trying to scale quickly. The stock is extremely volatile, with wild price swings and a low share count that can amplify every move. For investors, this means the potential for big gains, but also big losses. It's not uncommon to see double-digit swings in a single day, driven by news, rumors, or even just market sentiment. This kind of volatility can be exciting, but it's also risky, especially for those who aren't used to such a roller coaster ride. Production delays and supply chain issues have hurt confidence in Volcon's ability to deliver. The company is racing against established giants like Polaris, who have deeper pockets, more experience, and established dealer networks. Every setback, whether it's a missed delivery target or a supply chain hiccup, gives competitors a chance to pull further ahead. For Volcon, execution is everything, and the margin for error is razor thin. If you're a high-risk investor, a small speculative position in VLCN might make sense. This is more like a venture bet than a traditional investment. Think of it as backing a startup with a big idea and a lot to prove. The potential rewards are massive if Volcon can deliver on its promises, but the risks, cash burn, competition, and execution missteps, are just as significant. You need to be comfortable with the possibility of losing your entire investment. The upside is massive if they execute, but the risks are equally daunting. If Volcon can scale production, build a loyal customer base, and fend off competition, the stock could soar. But if they stumble, the downside is just as dramatic. This is a classic high-risk, high-reward scenario, where fortunes can change overnight. For most investors, it's simply too early to jump in. The best move right now is to keep VLCN on your watch list and wait for real revenue growth and production milestones. Look for signs that the company is hitting its targets, expanding its dealer network, and building a sustainable business. Until then, patience is your best friend. Don't get caught up in the hype or social media chatter. Focus on tangible progress, like actual sales, production numbers, and partnerships, before committing serious capital. In the world of speculative stocks, discipline and due diligence are your best defenses. Next, let's talk about a biotech gamble that's making waves for a very different reason. 180 Life Sciences, known by its ticker ATNF, is a clinical-stage biotech company that's trying to make waves in the world of medicine. Based in the US, ATNF is part of a high-stakes industry where innovation can mean the difference between life-changing breakthroughs and total collapse. The company is still in its early stages, but it's already drawing attention from both investors and the medical community. ATNF is laser-focused on developing treatments for inflammatory diseases, conditions that affect millions and often have limited options. Their research is at the cutting edge, with scientists working around the clock to find solutions that could change patients' lives. The company's lead drug candidate is designed to treat Dupuytren's contracture, a progressive hand condition that causes fingers to curl inward, making everyday tasks difficult or even impossible. If this drug is approved, it would be the first non-surgical treatment for the disease, a potential game-changer for patients and a huge commercial opportunity for ATNF. What sets ATNF apart is its founding team. The company was started by a group of highly respected scientists, many of whom have decades of experience in drug development and clinical research. Their expertise lends significant credibility to the company's mission and increases the odds of scientific success. But as with all early-stage biotech firms, there's a catch. ATNF is burning through cash at a rapid pace. Developing new drugs is incredibly expensive, with costs piling up from lab work, clinical trials, and regulatory filings. The company's financial statements show high expenses and negative cash flow, which is typical for this stage but still a major risk. To keep the lights on and fund ongoing trials, ATNF will almost certainly need to raise more money. That usually means issuing new shares, which dilutes existing shareholders and can put downward pressure on the stock price. It's a common story in biotech, but one that investors need to watch closely. The company's future, and its stock price, hinges almost entirely on the outcome of its clinical trials. If the data is positive, the stock could skyrocket overnight. But if the trials fail, the company could lose most of its value in an instant. This kind of volatility is not for the faint of heart. Investing in ATNF is less like buying into a stable business, and more like placing a high-stakes bet on a scientific outcome. It's a binary gamble, success or failure with little in between. The risks are enormous, and the rewards, while potentially huge, are far from guaranteed. Unless you have a deep understanding of the underlying science, the clinical trial process, and the specific risks involved, buying this stock is more like purchasing a lottery ticket than making a traditional investment. For most people, it's not a core holding but a speculative flyer at best. For the average investor, the wisest move is to watch from the sidelines, wait for more clarity from clinical trial data before making any big decisions. In biotech, patience and caution are often your best friends. Now let's shift gears and take a look at the world of crypto mining. BitOrigin Limited, BTOG, is a micro-cap company mining Bitcoin. The idea profit from crypto without buying coins directly. But mining is brutally competitive, capital-intensive, and dependent on cheap electricity. BTOG is tiny compared to industry leaders with no clear edge, just more risk. Their financials show losses, and the stock is extremely volatile. Operational risks, regulatory threats, and constant dilution make this a dangerous bet. If you want Bitcoin exposure, just buy Bitcoin. Don't add layers of risk with a small miner. For most investors, BTOG is a strong avoid. Let's move to a crypto project with a real-world use case. Assemble Protocol ASM wants to unify all your loyalty points, airlines, coffee shops, credit cards on one blockchain platform. You'd convert points to ASM tokens and spend them like cash or trade them for other crypto. The loyalty market is huge but fragmented, and Assemble's solution could unlock a lot of value. For businesses, it's a way to offload loyalty liabilities and attract new customers. The challenge? Getting big brands to join and making the platform easy for everyday users. Competition is fierce and adoption is everything. If they can build a strong network, ASM could be a winner, but it's a long-term, high-risk play. I'd want to see major partnerships and real user growth before investing heavily. Now let's get technical with a crypto infrastructure project. Caldera, ERA, is building Rollup as a service, infrastructure for launching custom Layer 2 blockchains. Their tech helps developers scale apps on Ethereum, making transactions faster and cheaper. Think Shopify for blockchains. Easy, powerful, and customizable. The ERA token could be used for fees, staking, and governance. But this is a B2B play. Their success depends on attracting developers to build on their platform. Competition is fierce, with big names like Optimism and Arbitrum already established. The tech landscape is evolving fast, so there's a risk Caldera's approach could be leapfrogged. This is a high-risk, high-reward bet for advanced crypto investors who understand the space. For most, it's probably too technical and speculative. Finally, let's talk about privacy in crypto. In today's digital world, privacy is becoming more important than ever. Every click, every message, and every transaction leaves a trail of data that can be tracked, analyzed, and sometimes even exploited. HOPR is tackling this challenge head-on by building a decentralized privacy network, a sophisticated mixnet designed to hide your online activities' metadata and keep your digital footprint truly private. Most people think that encrypting their data is enough to stay safe online. But even if your messages or transactions are encrypted, the metadata, details like who you talk to, when you communicate, and where you're located, can still be exposed. This metadata can paint a surprisingly detailed picture of your life, habits, and relationships, making it a goldmine for advertisers, hackers, and even governments. HOPR's solution is to route your internet traffic through a series of independent nodes, each operated by different people around the world. By bouncing your data through multiple hops, it becomes nearly impossible for anyone to trace the origin, destination, or content of your activity. This approach is inspired by the concept of mixnets, which have been studied for decades but are now being brought to life on a global scale. To make this network sustainable, HOPR uses its own token to incentivize people to run these nodes. Node operators are rewarded with HOPR tokens for relaying traffic, creating a self-sustaining ecosystem where privacy is not just a feature, but a shared responsibility and a community-driven effort. The potential use cases for HOPR are vast. It can help protect sensitive blockchain transactions, shield journalists and activists from surveillance, and enable businesses to keep their communications confidential. In a world where data leaks and privacy breaches are becoming more common, tools like HOPR are essential for anyone who values digital freedom and security. Of course, building a privacy network isn't easy. There's always a trade-off between privacy, speed, and cost. Making the network fast and affordable while maintaining strong privacy protections is a constant challenge. And perhaps the biggest hurdle is convincing everyday users to care about privacy before it's too late. Regulatory risks are also a major concern. Governments around the world are increasingly wary of strong anonymity tools, and new regulations could impact how networks like HOPR operate. Navigating this evolving legal landscape will be crucial for the project's long-term success. Ultimately, HOPR represents a long-term bet on the future of a more private internet. It's a high-risk, high-reward play. If global demand for privacy continues to grow, HOPR could become a foundational piece of the web's infrastructure. For most investors, HOPR is best seen as a speculative, long-term hold within a diversified crypto portfolio. It's not a guaranteed winner, but it offers exposure to the growing movement for digital privacy and decentralized infrastructure. As we wrap up, remember, the fight for privacy is just beginning. Projects like HOPR are paving the way for a safer, more private internet, one where you control your data, not corporations or governments. The journey won't be easy, but the potential rewards are enormous for those willing to take the risk. Quick recap. VLCN is a speculative EV play, ATNF is a binary biotech bet, and BTOG is a risky miner best avoided. On the crypto side, ASM has a real-world use case but needs adoption. ERA is a technical infrastructure bet, and HOPR is a privacy play for the future. All of these are high risk. Know what you're getting into before investing. This video is for informational purposes only. Do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Let me know in the comments. Are you watching or holding any of these? What did I miss? Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.